Analysis: the 8 big steps after the Putin-Xi Jinping deal, the new world, the specifics, and the glass half full. Moscow and Beijing outlined 8 directions for the development of trade and economic relations. The Putin-Xi Jinping joint statement defined 8 key points of Russian-Chinese economic cooperation. The document is groundbreaking in nature, but needs special treatment to succeed, noted Sergei Lukonin, head of China's economics and policy sector at the Center for Asia-Pacific Studies, IMEOM, RAS, speaking to Economics Today. When looking at the joint statement of the two presidents, it all depends on how you look at the glass. Is it half full or half empty? For me, the glass is half full, and I positively evaluate the results of the visit of the President of China to Moscow, he said. However, as an expert on Russian-Chinese relations, I would like to more, as long as there is little specification in this document, Lukonin concludes. I would like more, he said. The parties have made a joint statement, but this is a memorandum and not a binding agreement. The plans announced by Putin and Xi Jinping will go to a lower level where they will start to be discussed. There are no concrete documents today, so it's difficult to assess the scale and prospects of bilateral cooperation, Lukonin says. The 8 big steps. Moscow and Beijing outline 8 directions for the development of trade and economic relations. First is the scaling up and optimization of the trade structure through electronic and innovative tools, as well as increasing the level of favorability of these processes by both Russia and China. The second is the improvement of logistics for the development of bilateral trade. The third is financial cooperation, including through the use of national currencies in trade, investment, lending, and other areas of trade and economic cooperation. The fourth point was energy and ensuring mutual and global energy security, including energy transition and green technologies. Fifth, the supply of fertilizers and products of the chemical industry. The sixth is the cooperation and development of technologies and innovations. The seventh is increasing the level of industrial cooperation. And the eighth is joint projects of agriculture and the agro-industrial complex. Russia and China will strengthen economic cooperation. The general meaning of the document is clear. Russia will increase supplies of oil, natural gas, other raw materials, and fertilizers to China, and Beijing will respond with technologies, investments, and help Moscow create new branches of modern industry. If the 0 years the Kremlin promoted cooperation with EU countries, according to the plan, are energy resources in exchange for technologies, now Moscow is building a similar trade exchange with China. There has been a 180-degree turn in Russian strategy, but each of the points mentioned requires binding agreements. More details are needed. There is nothing new in the joint agreement. Russia and China have developed relations in these areas in the past. Nothing was said about the interaction of the two financial systems, and no mechanism was mentioned to create an alternative platform to bypass Western restrictions, states Lukonin. The logic of cooperation within the system of Russian resources in exchange for Chinese technology and equipment is understandable, but will this lead to joint production and financial value chains? When bilateral turnover reached $200 billion, such decisions will probably come, but today we have what we have in general. Everything is good, but I would like more details, Lukonin concludes. The power of Siberia, too, on the agenda. Another complex project is Power of Siberia, too. Putin noted that all issues with Mongolia have been resolved, but the main condition for the construction of this natural gas pipeline with a volume of 50 billion cubic meters of blue fuel per year is the consent of the Chinese. Beijing will continue to work on this issue and calculate the economic element of it, as well as how it will perform. An important point is the issue of providing a Chinese loan for the construction of the highway. And now, after there is an agreement on all points, the parties will sign a binding contract for the implementation of the project, Lukonin says. Xi Jinping's visit is politically significant. China supported the Russian Federation in the Ukrainian crisis, but a lot of work needs to be done on the economy. Moscow and Beijing will start a dialogue. On each point, consensus cannot be reached, but the support of Putin and Xi Jinping will accelerate this process, he says. This is from Banking News. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.